around and disregard it. Sweep you off the ground, show you what heart is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can knock it. Let's get it started, it's the hardest. Talk around, don't disregard it. Sweep you off the ground, show you what heart is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can knock it. Let's get it started. Yeah,
get your boots ready. We're about to go on a trip where we wrestle, nobody settling or calling it quits. You're here for the grit, betcha this stuff is amazing. You're stumbling, welcome to the bump in the apron. Step into it, the hardest part of the ring. Here to bring fun, yeah, and this art he is king. It's the best thing, making sure you don't tap out. Don't go soft with the hardest podcast out. And it's not just another one, it's clear. Off the rest, in this content, none contest. Take the nonsense off the steps. You know it's nothing but pure gems when it's coming off the chest. Get it? Now it's time to sit and relax. Get your mind blown away, ain't no skipping this track. Have you paying more attention, no listening gap. Get everything I ever wanted, no giving it back.
Ooh, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Apron Bump Podcast. I'm your host, the hardest part of the ring, known by some as Kyle. And man, going up north for this episode, covering WWF In Your House for the Great White North. Nothing was great about this show, but there's some white people, and yeah, they're in Canada, so they're in the north. So yeah, In Your House for White North. It's a bit uncomfortable of a title, I suppose, but yeah. Anyways. We are in October of 1995, and it's something, man. Any optimism I had about 1995 WWF, like if you go back and listen maybe to the Royal Rumble episode that I did, or WrestleMania 11, that's probably not a good example. But I mean, maybe the first couple In Your Houses, I was like, okay, In Your House. No, all hits, no misses. Shoots, they scores, as the kids say. But In Your House for the fourth iteration of the show. Any optimism I had of 1995 WWF was just eviscerated by this show. Holy guacamole, this was a bad wrestling show. I mean, where do I even start? Let's start up top with Diesel, the World Wrestling Federation champion. Been championed all year. Man, it's just flat tire after flat tire of a match. God, like, what are we doing? Like, he has the stuff at WrestleMania with the botched finish. He has, He has a non-finish against Sid. He's in a non-title tag match with Tatanka and Bam Bam and Sid. The stupid match with Mabel at SummerSlam. And now we're here. Diesel versus the British Bulldog, which on paper doesn't sound awful, but in execution is a kidney stone of a watch, man. It is just, man. I mean, the last half, I mean, believe me. This podcast episode is way more entertaining and worth your time than this show is. And I'm not just tooting my own horn. I'm tooting, both chodes involved in this podcast. But Diesel, his reign continues to blow chunks. Dean Douglas, you want to talk about losing optimism. Man, this dude leaves ECW where he's on top. He's going on to greener pastures, and he gets put out to pasture. Let me tell you, pasteurized milk that has gone bad is Dean Douglas here. It is a oof. This was originally supposed to be Dean Douglas challenging for the Intercontinental Championship against the champion Shawn Michaels, but for anybody that might know, I actually was not aware of this until, a couple weeks ago, maybe. Apparently, Shawn Michaels was attacked in a bar in Syracuse and, really got the shit kicked out of him to the extent where he has to vacate the Intercontinental Championship. And the way that they handle it is Well, I'll let you be the judge of if it was the right or wrong way to go about it. But it was bad. It just ended. It was stupid. I mean, you got Undertaker. Speaking of people getting their face broken, Undertaker. We are fresh off the heels off of Mabel knocking Undertaker's face into a million little pieces. And we're almost at Phantom Taker, but for the time being, he's still unable to wrestle. Was supposed to be Mabel versus Undertaker on this show. Don't get Taker. But you know what we do get? Mabel versus Yokozuna. I don't know how much these two guys weigh at this point. Mabel is dwarfed by Yokozuna in this match. I mean, Mabel is probably 5 bills at least. Yoko is maybe pushing 700. Don't know. But whatever the case is, it's fucking hideously bad. And, well, actually, the match actually had its moments. The match actually probably isn't as bad as you might think, but the finale is terrible of that match. Again, don't want to step on the toes of the podcast, but this just let you know what you're getting into. This is a bamboo stick up your toenails kind of show that we're covering today, but hopefully us recapping it isn't quite as bad. But maybe it is. Who knows? But if you like getting bamboo sticks up your toenails, if you like the new generation era, if you like 1995 wrestling in general, oh, I got you covered, baby. Go to apronbump.com. You can go to the episodes tab. You can select New Generation Era, where you can have all of the WWF pay-per-views of this time period that I've covered chronologically, all going back to WrestleMania 10. You can go to the episodes tab, select New Generation. That'll bring you to all those episodes. Or you can select Wrestling Wars of the 90s, and it'll bring you to chronologically WWF, WCW, ECW, reliving this entire time period. And I mean, at this point, I think ECW is probably putting out the best product by default. Just from we got WCW's got monster trucks, WWF has hog farmers, and ECW has some good wrestling in there. You got Rey Mysterio versus Psychosis. You got fucking Stone Cold showing up. You got some good stuff over there. But if you want to live all that, you want to hear me talk about it, go to apronbump.com. Listen to me wherever you listen to podcasts, on YouTube as well. Check all that stuff out. But gotta give a shout out to my guest on this episode, Charles from the Get Cho Podcast, joins me once again on the Apron Bump. Always a pleasure with Charlie Boy. Go check out, he hasn't been on the past couple Get Cho Podcast episodes. He's a busy boy, this Charlie is. But go check out the Get Cho Podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. And hey, if you want to check out their most recent episode, you might hear your boy on it. That's right. I was a fucking chill, Windows. I was the most recent guest on the Get Cho Podcast. We talk about the current state of wrestling. We recap Money in the Bank a little bit. Talk about some other shows, AEW. Talk a lot about penises and milk and shitting and Blue Chew. I'm not joking. This is actually the rundown of kind of what we talked about, but it was a hilarious episode. So go check out the Get Cho Podcast. All their info in the description below. Let's get into it, baby. WWF, World Wrestling Federation, in your house for the Great White North with myself and Charlie from, he's kind of from the Get Cho Podcast.
I'm like, oh man, I haven't watched wrestling in precisely 4 weeks now.
Dude, I have not watched I watched Blood and Guts last night, but outside of that, I haven't really watched much current wrestling that's been happening. And I watched Forbidden Door too. I don't know if you did or not. It was a decent show.
Like that's the thing. Like Forbidden Door. I'm a big New Japan guy, right? I love New Japan. Love it so much. And then for some reason, Forbidden Door, the build up wasn't doing it for me. Or yeah. Well, then again, I'm lying because I'm not really watching AEW. I'm just I'm just reading everything online. So I'm just so I'm just sitting there. Okay, they could have this match going, and the one match that kind of stuck out to me is all right, we're gonna go Minoru Suzuki, Chris Jericho, and Sammy Guevara versus Shota Umino and anyway, I was like, the fuck, why is this match happening? so I'm just okay, and then the same thing I love Tanahashi, but then I'm not as big as a fan of the style of John Moxley. So it's like, even the main event wasn't gonna be something that I was like excited for. But apparently, I missed like an insanely good show.
I mean, it was like, because like you said, like the build-up wasn't great. So it's like, while I was watching it, I was like, these are some pretty good matches, but like, I'm sure I'll forget about them like in a week. So like, Will Ospreay versus Orange Cassidy was definitely a standout match. So if you go back and watch any, I don't know if you have or not, but that would be like the one I recommend. Otherwise, everything's pretty. Even like the Tanahashi Moxley match, I wasn't really into. I don't know, but
because like Moxley's very strike based, so it's like.
Yeah,
I don't know. Tanahashi's very more like flow in the wrestling match sort of type guy. I'm like, I don't know. I guess like if I would have had Okada, I would have him in an epic 1 hour match because that's what makes Okada or his like epic like one-on-one battles. As
that four-way like was not as good as it should have been, like with the people in it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing though. Like once again, I wouldn't have minded a one-on-one somewhere. Like the four-way with there's like 4 great wrestlers obviously, but it's like. Yeah. New Japan doesn't do 4-ways, Right. New Japan is like, oh, I want this guy right in front of me,
Wait, how did they say it?
I want this guy in front of me, and what a man.
You have like a Yano face when you do that.
I don't know why like my Yano face comes out. I never want to have a Yano face.
Neither does your wife. But anyways,
yeah, right.
That's what I'm gonna call it from now on.
Yano face.
Yeah. She's not gonna understand the reference, but I'm gonna still say it.
I'm gonna make her watch New Japan. She'll be like, "Man, fuck you."
Well, we don't worry, we don't have any Japs on this show. So WWF. Wait, do we? Hold on. No Japs there. Wait. Oh no, Yokozuna's not Japanese.
Exactly.
Well, we have Mr. Fuji's here, right?
Okay, I guess so.
Right.
Well, to say Mabel's more Japanese than Yokozuna.
Dude, I thought Yokozuna was Japanese until like last week. I don't know about you.
I mean, I knew it, but like, even though when you're like watching as a kid, all you yell is bonsai, so that's all you had to work on.
That's all Japanese people do is carry around a Japanese flag and yell bonsai.
Well, that's what like American culture thinks like like Japanese do. Even like in the cartoon world, like the Pokemon, motherfuckers only say their own names.
Do you not?
Charlie. How's your day, Charlie? Push it.
Well, speaking of disabled, speaking of Japanese, In Your House 4. So, in Canada. So, a little international flair today. We're really excited. So, yeah, what'd you think of this lovely show?
It wasn't bad. I mean,
yeah, it was. What the fuck are you talking about? Wasn't bad.
I wouldn't.
The show could eat my ass.
Here's the best, like to preview what we're gonna talk about. I remember like watching Yokozuna versus Mabel, right? And then just kind of like closing my eyes for a second, and then Dean Douglas was in the ring. I was like, oh man, how long was I out for? What the fuck?
This is it's like a blink and you'll miss it kind of deal. But were you watching wrestling at this point, or were you watching WWF?
No, I don't think so. Cause like I don't remember any of these storylines. Cause like let's go back. Like I might have missed it, but like Shawn Michaels had a concussion. What was this concussion all about? Like and like is it the one? Is this the time where he got beat up by a bunch of like those like gay sailors? Or was it like
okay?
Like, or was it
you threw a few little bows and ties on that story? At least from what I'm aware, he got beat up by one. Was he gay? Was he a gay Marine?
I just sorry.
You know what? Nope. As of right now, Shawn Michaels got beat up. He got bukkakied by a bunch of gay Marines. So, and that's why he had a black eye.
Shout out Christopher Street Connection.
It all comes together.
God damn it.
Yep.
That's how rumors start.
Yeah, it is. But
then he got sodomized by a broom.
Yeah. What? Is that
that's why his super kicks weren't as good as before.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well.
No. Actually, that's why he had to like do the wind up because.
Oh, okay. So when he's tuning up the band, he's really putting the prolapsed asshole back inside. Is what we're saying here. That's what. I mean, it's the 90s. Things are crazy. Just say no. Make a difference. But speaking of which. Man, I just how you just fall into things sometimes. Well, actually, before we get into the opening match,
okay,
So we're in Canada, right? Winnipeg. You ever been to Canada?
I have.
What'd you think of it?
I thought it was, to be honest, I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, what was
Everyone
awesome
there
about it?
was everyone there was really nice. Like everything they were like the little nuances. Like they had like when you cross the street, they have a diagonal line, and then they you know, so then when you cross the street, they let all the people diagonally cross instead of going like north and then south. You just, I mean, sorry, north and then east. You just go directly across. And like, you know, like little nuances like that. Or like I never saw this before, but they're doing it in US now. But like when you pay your credit card, they have the tip calculator right in front of you. You pay at the machine, so you have to wait for some fat asshole to like walk over to the cash register, put your credit card in there and come back. It was pretty cool. And I don't know, it was just, everyone was super friendly, so I liked it.
I think they have all those things in America, no?
Yeah, they did, but at the time when I went, I never saw any of that
okay.
stuff. So it was my
They're
first
ahead of the
exposure to
curve.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
there were maybe like you know a couple weeks or months beforehand, but yeah. Other than that, it was cool. It was cool.
Yeah. People don't really use deodorant, though, I found. Because I've only been once. And it was like Niagara Falls, so it's like barely Canada. But yeah, I just remember like seeing a bunch of attractive people. But then like, when I got
100%.
close to them, it was like, oh, this smells like cabbage. So,
Well, if that was me, I'd be like, let's party. Breathe
Got
through your
some-
mouth.
got some pad thai on our hands.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I admit I saw a lot of that too. You know, that's another thing that I saw, and it was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
But then that's why I fit right in, because I was like, I ain't fine. You ain't gonna do it. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, you're a wrestling fan, so.
When in Rome, it's like,
Well, we're not in Rome here.
Yep.
We're in Winnipeg, me.
in the beginning, you know how they had the what you I'm not the worst transition man in the world. I'm like it's no matter what you say, I'm like, so
Anyway, I was trying to think of more Winnipeg jokes, but that was all I had.
nope,
I
negative.
just had a Fatso Raven moment there.
I was gonna try to bring it up first to beat you to the punch, but you got me on that one.
Yeah.
So anyway, you know how in the beginning they had the "Oh Canada," you know, like the lady saying "Oh Canada." By the way, was like Lita's mom. Apparently,
Is it really?
no, it just looks exactly like her.
I'm so fucking gullible. Oh, that sounds bad. You could have said yes, and I would have told everybody in my life that.
They both got a set of pipes on them. Anyway, very edgy conversation we're having.
Too hot for TV.
Making it Matt Hardy. Okay,
If
anyway,
anybody's still listening at this point, God bless you.
I ain't sneeze, bitch. I mean, like, who are we talking to? All right. So anyway, like you know how they're panning to the crowd, like you know, it's like when you're panning to the crowd, you want to catch like, you know, like excitement. You know, like when you hear the American national anthem, people are always singing along. They panned to the crowd at that one time while she was singing. The crowd was they're just deadpan. They're just like. I was like, nice try, guys. And the same thing. I like how they transition to like little scenic, you know, like views of Canada, like, you know,
Yes.
the hills,
Like a shitty, cold.
yeah. There's a coyote for some goddamn reason. And like I'm mixing like the person who made this video, like, were they ever in Canada? Like, I'm surprised they didn't have like a video of like maple syrup pouring or like.
For real, it's like me and you. Hey,
yeah,
you guys make a slideshow about Canada, and like you have 5 minutes, and we just like whip it up.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
And like there's it's just be a video of like two guys getting checked into the boards in a Canadians game.
You know, like guys buying bags of milk and at the grocery store. What else we got? What else we got?
Me being really polite to you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, there we go. That's the winner right there. So we're in Winnipeg, me, right? And so we got the national, not the national anthem. Is just called, or is it a national anthem still?
I guess so.
Call in if you know.
Yeah.
But then we got a Gorilla Monsoon that cuts to him after Oh Canada, and he says that Shawn Michaels' concussion is too severe because he was originally supposed to face Dean Douglas on this show, defending the Intercontinental Championship, but he will not be able to compete because he got sodomized by a bunch of gay sailors, as we touched on earlier, or as they touched on him earlier. And then so Gorilla's like, Shawn must relinquish the title to Dean Douglas. And Gorilla is so somber, you'd be thinking that he's like releasing a death announcement or something. Like, this is the hardest decision I've ever had to make in my life, is to end Shawn Michaels' 2-month title reign. It really hurts me. But it is what it is. We gotta do.
He had money on the match.
It's close to home for you, huh?
Exactly. Shawn Michaels was a minus 235 favorite.
Did you have money on that match after the fact?
$20.
It happens to all of us.
All right.
But then it cuts to the commentators: Vince McMahon, Jim Ross, and Jerry the King Lawler. What do you think of this trio on commentary tonight?
I didn't think it was horrible. It was like they complimented each other well. It wasn't. It was like Jerry Lawler was just trying to get his shit in, like getting his jokes in. Like Jim Ross had some like not non-senile, like analytical, like like quips here and there.
Yeah, it was refreshing to hear him as a third mic, like not walking in quicksand with his sentences.
Exactly, calling everyone by the wrong name or like shit like that. And then Vince McMahon, he's enthusiastic. He was, what I mean. So it's like
1, 2, he got him. Oh no, he didn't get him.
It was a whole lot of what maneuvers, but I mean, when it's
Good
not.
shit.
Yeah, so exactly. So no, I liked it. What about you?
Yeah, no, it was decent.
Yeah.
My favorite part is, and I think I've noted some like in some of these matches, like sometimes Lawler would have a joke and then Vince would like sandbag him completely. He would like just take all the wind out of it. I forget. I can't think of any of them. I noted some. I'll touch on them earlier, but that was my favorite part of the whole show, probably.
It's like good job, white boy. All right, next one.
Back to the action. But man, Charles, it's time to make a difference.
Oh my God.
Just say no.
I mean, if I read that on back of someone's ass, I'd be like, oh my God, maybe I should just say no. I guess so. A really fat ass. It's like sort of like, just say no to Twinkies, asshole. I mean, like
he's not lean at this point. Okay, Fatu is who we're talking about, of course, versus Hunter Hearst Helmsley. It's just because obviously these guys would face each other a bunch in like the Attitude Era and stuff like that. So it's funny to see their early like iterations of their characters here. But I kind of like to make a difference, Fatu. I'm wondering. I mean, it's kind of like not that different from Rikishi, honestly, as far as like how he acts. Yeah. So I could see like how he would eventually have success. But Triple H, man, complete opposite of what he would end up being. What do you think of seeing him here in '95?
I loved it. I loved his character work here. He was so good. He just had that like it was just like like they talk about facial expressions all the time. He was just perfect. That perfect like snotty look to her. And then like the one thing I loved about Triple H in this match was like he bumped like a motherfucker. He sold like a motherfucker. He made Fatu look like a star. So he was just like flopping around like a fish, and Fatu and like everything looked great. Like and like I don't know. And Triple H like back in the day like pre like steroid chewables, he's like so smooth in the ring. You can see him like he's just hitting the most smooth neck breaker I've ever seen in the world. And I'm just like, good lord, this guy was like a magician in the ring. Like I mean not magician, but you know what I'm saying. I loved just this match in general. I thought it was a really good, like a good opener.
Yeah, I was surprised. Yeah, this is probably my match of the night, personally.
Yeah.
Because even Fatu, both these guys are decently smaller than they would end up being. So it was fun to see them in like an opening match kind of style where it's a little bit more fast paced. Yeah.
Well, as cheesy as Fatu looked, we're making fun of his "Let's Make a Difference" shirt or whatever the fuck it said. It was over. And that's all that mattered. The fans were into it. Everyone was cheering his ass off. So I'm like, you know what? Like, right where the fuck you want in the back. As long as people are cheering you, go ahead.
We're smack in the middle of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air probably at this point, right? It's very, very much the aesthetic. So, and yeah, like you said, like the crowd was super into it. Like I love the part because he's Fatu, he has a new gimmick, but he's still Samoan after all. So whenever he would like get hit in the head, he would like get no damage. So he would like get his head smashed in the corner, but then he would like do like the shoulder worm out of it. He got DDT'd at one point and just popped up and just started dancing. Like that shit was awesome. The crowd loved it. I loved it. So yeah, I'm wondering why it wasn't really a bigger deal, but
the one spot that blew my mind is they actually did that fucking spot where Triple H tosses Fatu over the top rope, and Fatu does it so he can get his head caught in the second and the first. And I was like, damn, Fatu's got some balls to even try that shit. And it was just brilliant because it was like such a good way to turn the tides of a match. Fatu had all the momentum and like all the crowd behind him, and then his head gets stuck in the fucking ropes, and Triple H just goes to town on his ass, and I was just like, great.
That doesn't let the ref get him out.
Yeah.
It just keeps on.
whacking them, and like for me, it's so uncomfortable to watch, and like it just adds to the match. It's just like it just adds like just another touch of intensity to it. So I liked it. Who would ever try that spot ever again when you see a guy like get his ear fucking ripped off?
Yeah, nobody's doing that nowadays, really. So
yeah. Well, then again, like you don't like this match had a million high back body drops. You never seen that ever again. Like, I mean, I know it's like I guess I'm just speaking to the evolution of wrestling as opposed to like the dangers of a high back body drop. You know? Yeah. So.
Yeah. Pile drivers getting thrown around willy nilly. Triple H hits one, and Vince McMahon's like, "Oh, he got most of it." I was like, "God damn, Vince, just fuck Hunter Hearst Helmsley, I guess."
You want to use him as a pogo stick? You know, like, nice, dude.
Yeah. What is he? I guess we're not at Owen Hart, Stone Cold yet, so maybe they're a little more. They want more out of their pile drivers, pal. But yeah, Triple H. At some point, he teases the pedigree, which is already over. Like the crowd pops hard for it. Triple H is still like very new, so it's amazing that they're already like, oh, he's about to hit his finisher here. But Fatu fights out of it, and then we get the spot where Triple H hits a DDT. Fatu pops up, dances out of it, makes his comeback. Big super kick, backbreaker, a headbutt from the top rope, on fire. Even hits a diamond cutter out of the corner, which is fun. But Fatu, after the diamond cutter, goes for a splash off the top rope, misses, and then Triple H hits the pedigree for the win. And man, early pedigrees, they look like they suck to take because there's no way to brace for that.
Exactly, you're just eating the mat, and not only that, you feel like Hunter and Helmsley on the back of your head. You like, you know what I'm talking about? It's just, yep, nope, I don't care. I do not care. I can't. That's absolute wit right before your eyes.
Be honest. Did you have that written down?
No, 100%.
Okay. All right. You know what? I'll give that.
Guess what the other H is?
What is it?
Shaft. This is shaft.
What? H?
Because there's. Oh god. Okay, that part sucked. All right, I'll give you that.
Nah, you fucking suck. But speaking of sucking, we got Henry O'Godwin coming out after this match. Triple H is giving an interview with Jerry Lawler, and we get his Triple H is fun. Oh, it was ghastly being in there with Fatu. Oh, I could hardly even be in the same ring as him. And then you got Henry O'Godwin, which I don't know if you noticed this, but his initials, they spell out hog because he's a pig farmer. It's really crazy how they stumbled upon this. How lucky.
No wonder Phineas Godwin was PIG.
Right? Like, what are the odds?
One guy who thought it was hilarious was Vince McMahon. He's like,
oh, God damn, pal. Fuck me dry. That's hilarious. He raped a woman. But anyways, so what were you saying?
3 million says he didn't. So anyway,
he didn't rape that one.
Nope.
I don't think. But, maybe he did.
Like, the one thing almost ruined this match for me, and I'm glad it did not, but it almost did. It was that random vampire in the front row.
Yeah.
I could not. The whole match, I was just staring at the fucking vampire because he had a stone cold look on his face. He was in character the whole time. What? Like, the whole event, like okay, I think it was like the second or third match where someone finally sat in front of him. But my God, he was all I can see is like a vampire.
Do you know who the vampire is?
No.
So he's I vaguely know what he's like a creature of the night is what he's called, and he's like a fan maybe or a follower of the Undertaker. But guess what? The Undertaker's not on this card, so why the fuck is this guy in the crowd? So. Don't know. Maybe he bought his ticket already. Undertaker got injured. We'll touch on that later. Maybe he's like, oh, well, I still got to go to the show. Yeah, that's bizarre.
He ruined and made my night, like, watching that event, because that was too fucking funny.
When you're watching Mabel and Yokozuna finger fuck each other for 5 minutes and you have nothing else better to watch, you might as well just stare at this undead guy in the front row. So.
No, I watched the back of my eyelids.
So did he.
Yeah,
because he's dead. So, well, after that, speaking of finger fucking, we got the ass men here.
Nice.
We got the Smoking Guns, Billy and Bart Gunn. They are defending the tag team championships against the team of Razor Ramon and the 1-2-3 Kid. So we got old boy Razor here pulling double duty tonight. He'll be in another title match later in the show. But yeah, I thought this match was actually pretty solid for the most part. Even the finish was pretty silly, but I didn't hate the match itself.
It was okay. Like I don't know. I mean, it was a good. I just guess I was just a little confused because like I wasn't sure like who was working face, who was working heel. Because because it just kind of like kept flip flopping out of nowhere. Like there was the beginning of the match, like 1-2-3 Kid like pulls the bottom rope. I think Bart Gunn falls over the top. And then he goes to attack him, and he just decides not to for no apparent reason. He's like, all right, I'm gonna totally cheap shot this fucker. Now I'm gonna attempt to kick him. I shouldn't kick him. Throws him back in the ring. It's like are we supposed to believe that he's just slowly to turn heel, but he can't decide if he's gonna do it? I'm like,
I think that's kind of what the story is. At least that's what I kind of got from it, because Kid, I mean, he's ever since he beat Razor in his debut, like he's always been the plucky underdog babyface. He's like the high flying, entertaining guy. Everybody loves him. But him and Razor have had like tension between each other for the past few months. Like a Kid cost Razor a match the last pay-per-view and stuff like that. But they're teaming here, trying to coexist. And I think you're right. I think 1-2-3 Kid, I don't really know what happens after this, so I could be totally wrong. But he's kind of like gradually turning heel here. At least that's what it feels like. So like you said, what's his face? Razor whips, I think, Bart into the ropes, and Kid does the drop down, which, by the way, is the most violent looking drop down guy getting whipped into the rope thing I've ever seen.
Me too. Yep.
But then there's like other heel tendencies showing throughout the match. Like there's one point where, so Kid, he like holds Bart in the corner, his own corner. He makes the tag, and then before he gets out of the ring, he like slaps Bart in the face. Like it's just such like a shitty. Like there's no drama to it. He's just being a dick. Like just slaps him and gets out. But ultimately, Razor Ramon hits the Razor's Edge onto Billy Gunn. Razor's like, you know what? I could pin him right now, but I'm gonna let my boy Kid make the pin. So he tags in Kid. Kid gets in, makes a lackadaisical pin cover. Billy counters into a crucifix pin, and they get the cheeky win. The Smoking Guns do, out of nowhere, retain their titles, and then 1-2-3 Kid throws a tantrum after the match. He, as the Guns are celebrating, he drop kicks Bart in the back, and then hits a spin kick to Billy, knocking him out of the ring. And then Kid takes the titles, but then Razor's like, hey, Meng, these are their titles, Meng. And he takes the titles and he hands it to the Guns, and then they walk off. The Guns are kind of getting booed too, which adds to the confusion. But Razor's getting cheered, but Kid's getting half and half. It was like you said, it was kind of a weird heel face dynamic, but they're trying something, I guess.
Yeah, that was confusing, but other than that, it wasn't bad. It was just like, you got a heat spot here, then you got to come back, heat spot, come back. But then once again, like, even the Guns start working heel a little bit, like doing some like underhand tactics too. I'm just like, all right, I don't even want it, because with me, I wasn't watching this under context, and the thing is, the fans were solely behind Kid and Razor, so I'm just saying, okay, so I don't know, but. The one funny thing I find, like, this happens in a lot of matches where, like, okay, Bart Gunn's getting his ass beat over and over again by Kid and Razor, right? They're just taking turns beating the shit out of him. Bart Gunn gets the hot tag to Billy, right? Billy comes in like a house of fire for like 20 seconds, tags Bart right back in. Bart's like, after that long ass kicking, he's like, oh, thanks, asshole. He's goes, I could use a little break here.
You good, pal?
But that's the thing, though. It happens in a lot of matches these days, and like they don't sell the beat down whatsoever. They'll just, like, after a hot tag, it's like you go in the side and you rejuvenate, take some slurp juice, and you come right back out. It's like, what the holy fuck? Fortnite? Anyway,
nerd.
Fucking right.
I was actually gonna make a video game reference too, because in 2K, WWE 2K, I don't know if you played that, but even like when you get stunned and you roll to the outside, I mean, it takes a good 30 seconds before you can get up. So even by video game standards, it was a little bit exaggerated in this match.
See? Anyway.
Any hoozle.
One other clip, if I may.
No. So next match.
Damn it.
No, you go ahead. Okay.
No, it was the one. Another thing was like what I loved about 1-2-3 Kids. After he does a cool move, he does this, and the fans like cause just to show, hey, I'm a martial artist. And he does like all this shit, and like the fans eat it up. And I'm just like, man, what fucking what kind of fight are you like learning where you just do this all fucking time after each move? And it's like, oh, this fucking guy.
You know what? You sound like somebody with uneducated feet?
Like fucking hell, like fucking Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross is all they fucking say. Like he's got educated feet. He's got educated feet. You know who all has educated feet? Tajiri and fucking like. I was gonna say any Asian I could think of. I can't think of anymore.
Do you like feet?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's
like particularly like everybody like. You're like I'm indifferent to feet personally.
Okay, yeah.
But when I see a good pair of toesies, like I could give that a lick. Right?
I'm on the team indifferent. I can't even joke on this one. It's like they're just there, whatever, you know.
Okay. Do you have weird? So I thought my toes are like very. They have like knuckles, and they're hairy knuckles. I don't know if it's like an Asian thing, or if I'm just if that's me. Let's see your feet.
For real? This is happening. This is happening right now. Wait, hold on. Fuck.
Yeah.
There's no point to that.
Okay. I'd suck on those. Here.
Someone like my wife walks in on me and doing this shit.
Oh fuck my ass.
See what I mean? It ain't that easy, is it?
See, you got like I got these like little knuckles right here.
Oh my god, you could just totally like get into a fist fight with those feet.
Like this? What do you think of this? Does this do anything for you?
This is. Oh my god, put this on. This could be on YouTube and YouPorn.
Oh, pulled a hammy doing a podcast. Anyways,
I'd smack it raw.
Well, we're not at Diesel yet.
Yeah, I was really close to the screen too. I was like this and shit. So like I was really into it.
That's really gonna come off poorly in out of context.
I'm just saying.
Well, along the same vein. Thank you. Whenever you just don't know what to say, just do a 1, 2, 3 kid.
Stupid ass.
Or do a haku. It's the same thing, but it's she.
But I can never. That's true. But I can't besmirch the name of Haku. I feel like the ghost of Haku would come and like he's still alive.
He's alive. Okay.
But the ghost of Haku.
But he still has a ghost within him. It's gonna attack you.
It's gonna be like.
Yeah, I could see that happening. Well, you know who's not dead, unfortunately, is Doc Hendricks. He's backstage.
Ugh.
You know what he's selling to you? For only $25, I think it was, plus shipping and handling. We got some life-size stand-ups of Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. And to quote the Doc Hendricks, ladies, don't you want Shawn Michaels in your house all the time? Kids, don't you want Bret Hart watching you while you sleep? That is almost word for word what Michael Piss-Ass Hayes says in the show. Did you, as a kid, want Bret Hart to watch you sleep?
I don't know, cause like when there's that, there's also me like beating off. So it's like Bret Hart's like.
Judging you on your form.
That's
4 out of 10.
Exactly. 4 out of 10.
Yeah.
Shut up. No, I did not. I was not into that at all.
Well, actually, that's a very good segue. Beating off to our next match. So we got Party Marty Jannetty.
Oh my god.
Versus the premiering Goldust. Yes, the androgynous one is here. I don't know about you. I was terrified of Goldust as a kid.
I was just weirded out by him. I wasn't terrified. I just didn't want to watch him. It was just like, what the fuck is going on? That's it. But then there's this one promo that I saw a long time ago. It was like one of his early promos where he was outside, like, you know, like just in general public with Marlena, or what's her name? Terry Runnels.
It was Marlena at the time.
Marlena, yeah. Okay, with Marlena, and then he's doing a promo on I think it's like the Star. You know,
Walk of Fame.
Walk of Fame. And then he's doing this promo, and you can hear people hysterically laughing on the side. Like, they didn't even bother editing it out. Like so this poor guy Goldust has to do his promo in full fucking character, while people are just making fun of every little thing he's doing.
Well, he's very bizarre. People don't understand him.
Yeah, but even my own, like, I don't have that much shame and pride. But even that, I would draw a line there. Where like, all right, look, Vince, Really? I gotta do this now? Like, what the fuck, man?
Gotta put on that bodysuit.
Exactly. I'm wearing this. Like, you motherfucker.
Gotta. I mean, his face paint was pretty like simplistic at this point because it was, which made it look more crazy to me because it was just like a gold face with black around his eyes and black ears, and then his bodysuit just made him look naked. Like I don't. He did not have the physique for this at this point, by the way, which I guess adds to the bizarreness of it, I suppose. But
well, all I saw was love handles throughout the whole match, just like poking out. You know,
he's in way better shape nowadays. What? 30
apparently.
Years later, this is crazy.
But that was the most interesting part of the match.
What was him undressing?
Anything.
Honestly, yeah, his entrance and him, because like this is his debut, so people don't know what to expect. So he comes out with the long hair, because he's had vignettes before on Raw or whatever, and he has the hair and all the whole get up. But then he like rips it off, and it's funny to think people might not expect that. So like, whoa, God.
That just reminded me in the beginning of the match. I think it was Vince McMahon who goes, "What happened to his hair?" He sounds so genuinely like surprised.
He's easily amused, this Vincent McMahon.
Oh my God! But I was taking notes on this match. I just put this match was just odd because it was just a whole lot of time outside the ring. Of doing a whole lot of nothing happening outside the ring, whole lot of nothing happening inside the ring, and like there was like insanely long headlock spots,
dude.
Where Goldust had him in a headlock, and like it was so long, you know. Like I bet you Randy Orton took notes of this match. He's like, "That's good, that's good. I'm gonna use that one."
This match was 10 times longer than it should have been.
Yes,
it should have been okay. We're debuting Goldust. Let's show his moves, which, by the way, he's not even doing like the Shattered Dreams or anything. And he has a shitty finish like that. It's like a gourd buster, like a suplex face buster.
And look, he just fell.
I think he might have. But yeah, it's so like just bland offense from Goldust. It doesn't match. Like the entrance was cool. I thought the entrance was like really it hit what they were trying to hit. And like even the beginning, like Marty comes out hot, like you get that rockers energy. It's like, oh, okay, we're doing something. And then, like you said, just chinlock. It's like I don't know how long this match was, but it was way longer than it should have been.
There was a good botch in there. I thought it was funny where like Marty Jannetty goes up to the top rope and he flies off the top rope, lands on his feet as Goldust barely moves out of the way. So then Marty Jannetty just looks at Goldust for like the longest 3 seconds they ever. Then he stomps on him.
It in time stood still.
Wait, here's another thing. Jim Ross fucking mentioned his personal demons during the match.
Yes.
I was like, wait, what?
How about we just put him over as he was a rocker? He teamed with Shawn Michaels. He's high flying, high impact. No, he does drugs and he rapes women. What was the thing he did? No, he killed somebody.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He snooked them. Anyway, so.
Oh man.
I'm just saying, like, you know, why stop there? Oh yeah, by the way, Goldust is impotent. So anyway, now to this headlock. Oh yeah, Marty Jannetty can't bear children anymore, and now here's another drop kick.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
I mean, this match needs some sizzle to it because we're just watching Goldust put a nerve hold or whatever the fuck on Marty Jannetty for 87 minutes. So it's
Tongan death grip.
Yeah, definitely this match was something. It felt like a rough draft of Goldust at this point, for sure.
Nice,
but
nice.
I guess you can't really blame him for that. It's his debut or his world premiere. So
the only thing would top that is two giant big guys running into each other.
Well, you're in luck, Charles. That's the match after this.
I don't give a shit.
Yokozuna.
I don't give a shit.
We got Yokozuna versus King Mabel. Now, this match originally was supposed to be King Mabel versus The Undertaker, but, and I believe I have this right, this is the point where Mabel broke Undertaker's orbital bone. I think it was at a house show, but they put it over because there was a whole deal on Raw a few weeks before this where Mabel and Yokozuna both attacked Undertaker, and they're putting it over like that was what crushed his face, is how they phrased it. But no, it was just at a house show. But it all works, I guess. So they had to fill in a spot for Undertaker, and who else better than 680-pound Yokozuna? Man, oh man, making Mabel look skinny in this match. But, like, first of all, God bless the guys carrying King Mabel to the ring on the little deal there. Some beefy boys. And
they lost the bet.
Yeah. I always look for like, is there like a Bobby Roode or somebody in there that like ends up being a wrestler? But no, there's just some.
There's nobody.
Who?
No, I was saying there was nobody, or.
Oh, not that I noticed. I could have been wrong. There was one guy that looked like Otis, but I think it was a little too far back. But
yeah.
But yeah, this is the point. So there's like a promo backstage with Yokozuna before the match. Lawler is like, you know why Mr. Fuji and Jim Cornette are always by Yokozuna? It's because they can't escape his gravitational pull.
Fucking Lawler.
And then Vince McMahon's like, oh yeah, it's because he's like a big planet. Yeah, that's the joke, Vince. It was just that all night from these two. The hijinks never ends. And then JR's like, this guy played football at Who Gives a Fuck University, and it's a whole thing. So, but yeah, honestly, the finish sucked, and the aftermath was stupid. But the match itself, I thought, was actually kind of fun for what it was. It just felt like two big guys like throwing missiles at each other.
Yeah,
it didn't seem too long. I don't know. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, at least.
No, I agree. That's my exact assessment. Like, I still can't make heads or tails of that ending. I had to watch it again because I was like, why is Yokozuna on top of Jim Cornette?
I rewatched it twice. I'm still confused what happened.
I'm like, why is he on top of him? What just happened? So, if anything, we're putting over him not being able to get in the ring, but then you have him smashing somebody else. But it's like, but then that's the thing though. Did they both get counted up since they were fat and tired? Because in the end, if you're gonna have a double count out, you'll never see a double count out where there's two guys in the adjacent side of the rings, right?
Right.
they're like a good 10, 15 feet away from each other. It's not like
there was no variable of them attacking each other. That did not come into play.
They're just breathing heavy.
Adjacent ass motherfuckers.
So like, I'm just like, who booked this shit? It's the guy commentating on the match. Fucker.
Oh, they are too fat to get in. He's fat, but he gets in. Wait, hold on. There's a part where Mabel goes for a bulldog on Yokozuna, but Yoko, I don't know if he just didn't see him coming or if he just didn't feel like bumping, but he didn't go down for the bulldog. But the pro in Yokozuna still takes the bump anyways. About 5 or 6 seconds after the bulldog was initiated, Yoko goes toppling to the outside. Mabel gets like an axe handle off the apron onto Yokozuna. And then the offense stops, but apparently the ref counts to 10. And they both get counted out. And I think it was like Cornette got knocked down at some point. I think Yoko like tripped on him and fell on him. And then they were like doing the whole like the turtle on his back kind of thing with Cornette. He couldn't get up. And then, Mo is over there trying to get Mabel in, but he's fat, diabetes and all that, so he can't get in the ring. And it's a double count out. Vince McMahon on commentary says that was a less than a stellar matchup.
Yeah,
So
I can't believe you said that. That's
fuck
pretty good.
them, I guess. He's probably pissed off.
I wanted a Meltzer 5-star match,
Tokyo Dome. But then you're probably thinking, man, well, this shit can't get any dumber. Well, you would have an egg on your face if that was what you thought, because Yoko and Mabel get in the ring, they face off, and then they hug, and then they high five each other. They raise each other's hands. Was this a big old waste of time? Well, what are we doing here?
I have a theory that they both wanted to swing at each other and they both got tired mid-swing.
It takes less energy to hug.
Pulled an audible.
I'm with that.
I don't know, man. That was a pretty bad one.
Yeah.
Okay, you know how you asked me earlier if this was a good event? You're
You're like, yeah, that's pretty good.
I meant to take it back. The more we talk about this, like, oh man, what the fuck was I smoking? Go ahead.
Hey, we can only go up from here, right? So in a somehow slower match than that previous one, we got the Intercontinental title on the line between Dean Douglas, the champion, versus Razor Ramon. And you're probably listening like, well, suck me dry and call me Bertha. How is Dean Douglas the Intercontinental Champion? Well, let me tell you. So, as we mentioned earlier, Shawn Michaels had to relinquish the title because of getting sodomized by multiple sailors. So, Doc Hendricks... Is that how you sodomize somebody? Okay, you can't just X-Pac your way out of any situation. Doc Hendricks and Gorilla Monsoon are in the ring. Gorilla being the, you okay over there? Sorry. You're gonna do that later with your wife. She's like, what the hell are you doing?
Not the stupidest thing I ever do in front of her, so she's used to this shit.
It's par for the course.
Fucking idiot, Charlie. Go ahead, sorry.
No. So we got Gorilla. He calls out Dean Douglas. Then we hit the Nails on a Chalkboard theme music by Dean Douglas. Comes out, and then they call out Shawn Michaels coming out here with his black eye, his jumpsuit jacket, but normal pants combination with a little bit of a interesting fashion ensemble by Shawn Michaels here. But he's crying. Shawn Michaels has tears in his eyes. He's very emotional about what he's about to do, is give a title to Shane Douglas, who I guess he is not too fond of. So Shawn gets in the ring. He goes to hand his title, his Intercontinental title, over to Gorilla, but Dean Douglas just yanks it from him, takes it, puts it around his waist, takes his jacket off, his music plays, and Shawn Michaels just cries and walks away. So it's literally so much fanfare for just that. Felt like something else should have happened, but I guess we have a match after this, but I don't know. What do you think about? How do you feel about them doing that the way they did?
Fuck. Shawn Michaels went to the same acting school as Gorilla Monsoon.
Is Gorilla not a good actor?
Wow. No, it's the same thing. You know, it's like something like, oh, I just missed a red light. You know, it's like, so like you're just like, you know what I'm talking about? It's just like, good fucking Lord, get over it. Just fucking do it. Just try to win the title back later. You have a bloodshot eye, god damn it. You're gonna go back in the ring with Dean Douglas, who will drop kick you in the face and knock your ass out. Hell no. You know, suck it. You know, and like, you know, you could just wear your Rikishi jacket that you're wearing. And then you're looking stylish, you're looking good. You still have your health. It's okay. Just give up your title this one time, controversial as it may be, because they said the word controversial at least 932 times. And then like what made it worse is like the crowd ate it up. So that just made Shawn Michaels walk even slower. Oh my god. Thank the Lord Peacock has a fast forward 10-second button, because I was like
you didn't watch him.
Stop it. You fucking stop it.
Fucking dramatic asshole. Fucking Native American asshole, tear in his eye.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, that was pretty bad. I'm like, let's just get this match started. Let's go.
Well, it doesn't get any better because Razor Ramon comes out. His second match of the night. Because Dean Douglas is now champion, so he's going to defend it immediately against Razor Ramon here. And so the match is happening. Not a lot happening. Vince McMahon on commentary sees that not a lot is happening. So he's like, well, Razor seems like he's been much more cautious than he was in his previous match. He must be tired. He must be tired because they're just doing nothing but chin locks and vague arm locks, and there's just nothing happening. And then it further peters out with the finish. One of the dumbest finishes I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
So Razor Ramon hits like a weak ass back suplex, not even the Razor's Edge or a choke slam, one of his signature moves. No, just a back suplex, like lays him down on a pillow, basically, up against the ropes. So Razor goes for the pin. Dean Douglas's whole right leg, from his femur to his toesies, are all outside of the ring. He could not be more outside of the ring. The ref doesn't see this, though, so he makes the count. 1, 2, 3. By the way, Razor's shoulders are also down because he hits the back suplex. He kind of just stays on his back and he just drapes his arm over. This is the furthest thing from a pin I've ever seen in my life. But apparently this gives Razor the Intercontinental Championship, so yeah. Really stupid match and an even stupider finish, I thought.
If he put, like, over here, Razor, you want to say John Cena has 5 moves of doing?
Uh-huh.
I noticed tonight that Razor Ramon has 5 moves of doing. Think about it. Okay, this thing. We're open hand punch, right?
He has good punches though. I'll say that.
Yeah, he does, but that's just one of his moves. 2, arm shit, arm twist,
Yeah.
arm pull, arm anything, like arm like wrist lock, whatever, fall away slam. That's 3, right? What Razor's
Choke
Edge,
slam.
Razor's Edge, and I put down Irish whip because that's the only thing I've ever seen him do. He just grabbed the guys and throws him to like hopefully he'll bounce back at me. But like just one thing about the Razor's Edge, there's a spot that he does in all of his matches where he does the Razor's Edge. He's really close to the ropes. And like it's,
Where do you think he's going?
Exactly. He's probably going over the top rope, right?
Uh-huh.
Because like is it that, or he's gonna Razor's Edge this motherfucker in the 3rd row onto like little Timmy and Jimmy? Like what the holy shit? So like I'm just saying like these stupid spots just drive me nuts. But like this match was just that. It was just 5 moves of doom, a lot of fucking arm work, really odd finish, and like same thing. Even before that, there was another part where there was a near fall. Dean Douglas goes for a pinfall, right? But in the middle of the pinfall, you could see Razor Ramon scooting 1,000, 2 1,000, trying to get close to the ropes, just so he could put his foot on rope on the 3rd count. So like, of course, it went over like a wet blanket. 1, 2, he kicks out, he puts his foot on rope. No pop, no reaction. Why? Because everyone could see his greasy ass sliding over to the rope and try to
It was just confusion. Like everybody was like on the same page. Like, oh, we're gonna have.
Here we go. He's gonna put his leg on the rope because like it was such an odd way to pinning him over there anyway. So I was just like, you know what? He melted. Like, and the funny thing is, here, let me be fantasy booker. I would have had 1, 2, 3 could come out and fucking cheer on Razor Ramon, right? Finish the heel turn. Finish the heel turn right there. Cost Razor the title. Give it to Dean Douglas. Bam! That would have been.
I like that.
Because it made sense. It was set up in the beginning of the match. Beginning of the night. Bring his ass right back out. Finish the heel turn right there instead of us thinking because we know it's coming. Might as well just do it there.
Yeah. Although there is the element of like the backstage element of the clique and Shane Douglas not getting along. I'm wondering how much that played a part in this. Like, because even if you would have done like a Razor's Edge and then Dean Douglas gets his foot on the rope or something, like that would have been fine.
Yeah.
Like it would have been better. But it's this shitty back suplex and then 1, 2, 3 kid coming out. That would have added another element of, because Shane Douglas is a solid worker. Was it me and you that talked about Shane Douglas versus Marty Jannetty on ECW?
No. I haven't seen that.
Well, that was like a random ass, really good match. I forget which show. It was sometime in '95, I think. But Shane Douglas versus Marty Jannetty for the ECW title. Sounds like a shit show, but it was way better than the shit they did on this card.
Because they did the line of coke after the match.
Yeah, well, they probably did that here. Let's be honest. Fatu's message isn't getting to everybody.
Just say no to that one. Use that one. That's a good pipe. Anyway,
see his ass.
But no, I would believe it because both those guys can work. They're like Shane Douglas, awesome wrestler, genetic. He can go. I get it.
Yeah, it happens. Well, Dean Douglas, I don't think he's in WWF too much longer after this. This is like his one claim to fame. His claim is that he's an Intercontinental Champion, but he's literally just handed it to him by Shawn Michaels, which is funny, but it is what it is, I guess. Politics be politicking, I suppose. But man, if you're I know what you're thinking. You're like, man, I sure hope there's more matches of slow rest holds with little to no payoff. Main event time. We got the WWF Championship on the line. We got Diesel, the champion, defending his title against the British Bulldog. So this match. So the backstory quickly is, Bulldog and Lex Luger were teaming for a little bit, the Allied Powers. Luger went off to WCW, so just kind of left Bulldog by himself. So Bulldog turns heel on Diesel on Raw. It's like a tag team match. He attacks him from behind. He joins Cornette and Yokozuna and all those guys. And then a few weeks later, there's like a 6-man tag match where British Bulldog pins Diesel. I think it's the first time Diesel's been pinned since he's been champion, but it was all after Yokozuna sat on his face and all that stuff. But Bulldog got the victory. So now we're here, Bulldog versus Diesel. Bret Hart, of course, comes out to commentate because Canada. I was going to say I'm surprised he didn't have a match tonight, but apparently there was a dark match where it was like him versus Isaac Yankem, which, by the way, have you seen... I saw this the other night. It's Bret Hart versus Isaac Yankem in a steel cage match. Have you ever seen that match?
No.
Good. Just keep it
okay. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
I'll stay away.
It's worth it to see because the whole thing, because Jerry Lawler and Bret Hart have been feuding for goddamn 5 years at this point. So they put Jerry Lawler in a shark cage and hung that cage above the steel cage. So they raged in the cage with a cage above the cage, and then Adam Page came out as the whole thing. So, but yeah, that was the thing that happened. So apparently they followed that up with another dark match on this show. But Bret Hart is commentating on this match. He chases off Jerry Lawler, which is kind of funny. But apparently Bret Hart will face the winner of this match at Survivor Series. So that's a thing.
that kind of brings me to there's this one part of the match where like I think Bulldog was looking at Bret Hart, and Bret Hart goes, "How do I get involved in this? Like, why are they looking at me?" And then Vince goes, "You're facing the winner. You're facing the winner of this match." And then Bret Hart just gets quiet. It's like, oh, all right, okay.
I got very like Joe Rogan commentator vibes from Bret Hart in this match, like a very subdued version of it, though.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because he's trying to get inside the technical, because there's nothing going on. So Bret Hart's like, "Oh yeah, Bulldog's got that leg lock on. He's really putting some pressure on the shin, maybe even the knee. I don't know. He's got to really pass that guard, and then he's like alpha brain and stuff like that." So
it's the only way you gotta take out this big man. You gotta take him out with his legs. He's doing the right thing right now. He's going all that pressure. I'm like, oh my fucking god, dude.
A lot of leg work in this match. A lot of leg work.
A lot of it. Hey, dude, I'm just thinking about now, like, in the beginning match where Diesel pie faces Bret, right? Yeah, and then Bret Hart just gets super calm. He's just like, "Oh, it was just in the heat of the match. Don't worry about it."
Yeah.
I'm just like, the way to not sell that at all. It's like, ugh. All right. Well, anyway, yeah, Bulldog is doing a great job here going out this leg.
They really got that cravat locked in nicely.
And then he goes into his Joe Rogan-esque, analysis of the match. I'm sort of, all right, okay.
It's something. But there's one point where Diesel gets. By the way, Diesel does like little to no offense in this match. I don't know if you noticed that or not.
His punches have little to no oomph to it. Have you seen that? Like, he doesn't wind up his punches.
He is. I don't know, man. Diesel apparently, because I forget. I think it was Vince. He said Diesel's already had 10 knee surgeries at this point, which were like at the start of his like run, really, which is crazy. I guess he played basketball and shit as a youth, so maybe he got surgeries at that point. But yeah, still bizarre how dilapidated he is even at this point in 95. But yeah, so the match happens. Bulldog's pretty much just kicking the shit out of Diesel's legs for 50 minutes. Diesel gets knocked to the outside. Jim Cornette does probably the most energetic bump of the whole match, where Diesel's on the ground. Jim Cornette does this crazy elbow drop onto Diesel's leg. He's just like a cartoon character slipping on a banana peel, but he elbows drops him, which was funny. But then, goes back and it just rest holds. But then it kind of kicks up a little bit in the beginning. Actually, first, Bulldog tries to lock on a sharpshooter.
That's funny.
But bad news for Bulldog. Bret Hart's on commentary. He's gonna shit over all of it. He says, "Bret's like, you better, if he's gonna try to use my sharpshooter, you better learn how to put it on right." It's pretty sloppy. It was. He trips over himself. Yeah. He has the shins. He doesn't even have it on right. But Vince McMahon's like, no, I think it's just more of a more powerful version of the sharpshooter. Spit all over myself here. The Bulldog goes for the power slam, but Diesel fights out of it and hits him with a big boot, which wakes up the crowd after being asleep for virtually an hour at this point. Diesel rips Cornette into the ring. Bulldog tries to take advantage of the distraction, but Diesel gets out of the way, and Cornette and Bulldog bump. And then, Cornette takes another hilarious bump to the outside. They fight on the outside, Bulldog and Diesel do. Bulldog throws Diesel into the ring post, and then Bulldog does he slap Bret or he pie faces him or something? And remember, this is after Diesel did it in the beginning of the match and got zero repercussions, but Bulldog does it, and Bret just storms the ring. He's had enough. Starts beating on Bulldog. He was wondering how he gets involved. Well, that's how you get involved. You walk over there and get involved. So DQ finish in the main event. And so Bulldog technically wins by DQ, but the title doesn't change hands. But Diesel's pissed because he didn't win, so now him and Brett are going at it. The crowd's confused. I'm confused. There's a pull apart. There's refs. Fatu's back out there. There's Aldo Montoya. It's the whole thing, and that's how the show ends. And yeah, in your house 4, how do you think? How to tickle your pickle?
It did not.
Yeah.
No pickles were tickled. The 2 best things of that event was Aldo Montoya and then the Vampire.
I don't even know if Aldo Montoya was out there. I assume he was.
I mean, PJ's he's everywhere, you know. But
yeah, unfortunately.
Get Cho.
Still waiting for my book, asshole.
I know. Come on, dude. Seriously, like, be incredible.
More like
just be incredible.
Justin mediocre.
Oh,
Mediocre?
come on.
Oh, come on.
Justin Flaky.
No. Kendo sticks.
And then yeah, no, that's the one thing I took note, like during the Shawn Michaels segment. That's the one time that Vampire guy showed emotion. He just slowly stood up and never sat down. Just during the whole dramatic shit, I had him the belt after 6 minutes. I was like, you fucking piece of shit.
Hey, Craig, you're on camera at this point. Do something with your face.
I'm 100% happy to have watched this event just for that.
Yeah.
And I get to be on this show again because.
Well, there you go.
Yes. So thank you so much. Thank you. Is this happening?
No.
We're having a moment.
Are we doing this? Well, get your ass out of here. But speaking of Get Cho, if you're even a part of that podcast anymore, I think you're kind of like the secretary, maybe.
I may be kicked out. So this show right now is my it's gonna be my audition to get back on.
Oh, okay. We'll send in your tape. Remember, Charlie still talks about wrestling sometimes.
And all they're gonna see is this shit. They're gonna be like, this fucker's doing this shit.
I love the thought of somebody like playing the YouTube or whatever of this episode, and they just, let's skip around and see what happens, and it just cuts to you and you're in between toes.
But yeah, I mean, I just want to shout out to Get Cho anyway, because you know what, they're still holding it down. Like I said, I've been super busy. I just I will do them a disservice to not give them more than one.
You're big time in them. Just say it. The money's not right.
Big time checks. See, that's another reason why I'm not on the show anymore. There's so many womp moments where it's like they politely had to laugh at me. Don't have to do that anymore.
Lucky for you, I don't laugh at your jokes. So.
I don't need that. Oh my god, damn it. Oh my god, that validation just out the door. Like, what are we? So anyway,
yeah.
But no, I just want to shout out Get Cho anyway, because like they're still putting out content. Justin came out with his own podcast, for just himself. Check that one out too. But I want to shout out Garn. I want to shout out Justin for constantly grinding. Marks and Mikes who showed up on the show. Vince, Matt, Katie, who held it down for us. They did a great job. And same thing. It's like I'm like sitting there like, man, they really don't need me. these fuckers. Wait a minute, they're actually way better off without me. Holy shit!
Don't say that.
But anyway, hopefully I'll be back. I'll be able to, they still tell me when they're recording, so hopefully I'll be watching it again and be able to actually contribute. And then yeah, so they're at Get Cho Podcast. It's the way it sounds. It's spelled the way it sounds. GETCHO Podcast. Check them out because they're awesome. I was on there. I was awesome.
Yeah. Well, you were there.
Yeah.
So can you translate it for Sean Waltman so he knows where to find Get Cho?
Oh, what the fuck? So you can find us at Get Cho on Twitter, Instagram. I'm trying, dude. I don't.
Once again, thank you to Charlie from the Get Cho Podcast for joining me on today's episode. Always a rootin' tootin' good time with Charles. Go check out the Get Cho Podcast. Check out the latest episode 111, I believe. With myself as a guest. Go check out all their episodes. It's a pretty evergreen podcast, so go check it out wherever you listen to podcasts. All their info in the description below. Follow them on Twitter, all that stuff. Follow me on Twitter too, I guess, if you want. Apron Bump on Twitter, all the socials in the description. You can go to apronbump.com. It'll take you to wherever you need. Anything, all things hardest part of the ring, you can find at apronbump.com. You can buy a shirt. You can rate the podcast, review the podcast, join the mailing list if that's the kind of thing you're into. What else? I think that's about it. If you made it this far, I mean, you probably already are sucked into the old hardest part of the ring, Apron Bump. But yeah, that's about all I got. All right, look. You've made it to the end. I assume nobody really listens to the end of the podcast anyways. But if you're here, you're probably pretty cool, right? Look, you're cool. You're cool, right? So I got a joke, right? Has some racial undertones, but it's a joke. Okay, I don't have these feelings. Let me preface this. But it's just a funny joke, okay? Can we be cool? All right? So the show is called The Great White North, right? That's where this joke kind of comes from. All right. What do sharks and humans have in common? All the great ones are white. Except Monty Brown. He's pretty cool too. I'm sorry. But I'm also hard.
It's the hardest. Talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what hard is. Standing strong and proud, nothing not this. Let's get it started. It's the hardest. Talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what hard is. Standing strong and proud, nothing not this. Let's get it started. Yeah.